Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you are all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And it was a hectic day on the timeline last night. So much has happened in these past 24 hours, and effectively there are two sides to the story here. The LAN situation we are going to discuss this morning. Later today we're going to get into the absolute rostermania chaos that has gone down these last 24 hours. But this LAN stuff is very interesting indeed, because we get the official confirmation yesterday from some of the teams we are going back to LAN at some point or another. Pros are now like calling out some players that they think may struggle when we go back to a LAN environment, or at least hinting that may well be the case. But then we've got people from League Ops and over at the CDL side saying, I don't really know what's going on here. When's it actually going to be happening? No official announcement as yet from the league. But in tweeting your thoughts on all this drama in the comment section, I'd like if you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. And well, it was kind of funny really, because yesterday I did a video at exactly the same time that, well, this kind of announcement came out talking about the potential LAN, the fact that pros want to go back to a LAN environment. And well, this is what happens at exactly the same time that video goes live. OpTic Chicago say, we will see you soon on LAN. So back to LAN, say OpTic Chicago, and this was the first announcement that really came out on the matter. But a number of other teams doing something very similar. We can see, well, Atlanta FaZe right here, they tweet this out, we'd generate your new Call of Duty League tag. I think a lot of teams did this exact same thing, where you go in here and it says back to LAN in terms of what tag you're going for. And well, Intel Call of Duty tweets this out as well with these couple of tweets, but I think it was Royal Ravens tweeting something very similar indeed. And I'm pretty sure that Dallas Empire and other teams did, well, pretty much the exact same thing, which obviously shows it's a coordinated effort from the CDL to promote this whole like my tag thing that you can do, and at the same time well, show that we are indeed going back to LAN. But what is kind of strange about it is the fact that the CDL haven't actually come up with an announcement, right? It's the teams doing these kind of teasers. The CDL hasn't said, okay, yeah, we're going back to LAN at this date, this time. And the timing to me is very interesting in the sense that, okay, we're just before stage 3 here, and well, if you were not going to be going back to LAN until stage 4, stage 5 or champs, for example, why are you necessarily teasing this now? It's making us all think, okay, well, maybe stage 3 major in a month or so, that's going to be back in a LAN environment. Is that the case though? That is a bit of a question mark. We don't really know. And at the same time, like, are they going to be spectators, right? That is another question mark. It's probably not going to be, I imagine it's probably not going to be a full capacity stadium if it is the case, but I'm sure we would love to have spectators, because that is probably one of the big question marks to me. The fact that, okay, there's been all this talk, as we're going to get into in a second here, about some players when we go back to a LAN environment, again, are they going to perform at the level that we expect them to, right? Given there's some players in the league right now that have never played in a LAN environment and they're on pretty big name teams, and if they don't perform, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of, well, drama from maybe some of the pros that got dropped for them. The idea that, okay, like, you know, they're, well, underperforming now in this LAN environment, and often that is the case, that new players, when they first go to the LAN, they, well, they take some time to adjust, but if they haven't got the green wall, like, you know, thousands of fans in front of them shouting them down, then maybe the pressure isn't quite the same. So there certainly are still many questions to be answered right here, but of course, I mean, you know, it doesn't get too much better than this. This is, of course, the announcement that we wanted. LAN's back, says Dylan Attach right here. Envoy says as well, you know, we are back officially. So all the players super on board. They seem to have known this is happening. Octane says, about damn time. Get me out of my bedroom, please, and back to a LAN environment with a stadium, all that good stuff. LAN is back. Let's go, says Dashy. And then we're going to get into reminiscing, right? I actually put this video, I think, at the end of yesterday's video, which is, yeah, the Dashy 5-piece that he got way back, and I believe this is champs of 2019 here in Black Ops 4. And this is the kind of crazy stuff that, well, with a crowd in the background, makes for even crazier Call of Duty moments. And there's some other stuff as well. I mean, this is, of course, seen to be a London 2019. This is just, well, so many great moments, of course, from this event. You can actually maybe see me up there in the top left. But yeah, this was the famous Tommy, you know, what do you think of LG type stuff that Kevy Skills tweets out right here. And well, as Dashy also says, now I am reminiscing, hashtag green wall. So this is seen to be at Anaheim here on the left-hand side, some other phenomenal events. So all the pros, of course, super happy with this announcement. But there is, of course, the other side of this, the fact that there are a number of players in our league right now that haven't actually played properly in a LAN environment. What's going to happen to those players? And also, what about the players that have been dropped? Of course, these last, you know, it's been rostermania chaos, as I said. We'll talk about more of it later today. But this past month or so, there's been a number of changes. Players that you maybe wouldn't have been expected ever to be dropped if we were still on LAN and playing all this stuff on LAN. But well, in this online environment, obviously they've kind of struggled, and now they're getting replaced with players that maybe haven't really got the experience in a LAN environment. But well, still so many question marks, right? We don't know when this is coming. We don't know, like, if fans are going to be allowed. So maybe it's not so much of a big difference if you're on LAN if there are no spectators, for example, or if it's like a phased back-in approach or something like that. And then, of course, you've got the other side of things where it's probably just the majors that are going to be on LAN, you would imagine, for the rest of the season. I'm guessing the online stuff is still going to be done online for the group play matches, for seeding for the majors, which means that, you know, online performances still probably play a pretty big weighting right here. So, you know, if you're a LAN warrior or a LANimal, I think as some people call them, we'll have a look at that in a second, then, well, how much is that really going to count for if you still need to perform well online to actually get a good seeding for the major tournament? So, a lot to say on this. I mean, as Formal says, just imagine the players that saw the LAN stuff and a shiver went down their spine, saying that, you know, some of these guys, they're going to get exposed. I know the OpTic guys have talked about it on their podcast a number of times, the fact that, you know, there's some players right here that don't have the experience on LAN. They are going to get exposed by OpTic Gaming and other teams that are, well, good on LAN historically, and, well, especially with the crowd support as well, that adds kind of the fifth man to their team in a sense, and excited for the return, Formal says, suggesting that, well, when OpTic get back to LAN, there are going to be some players on other teams that aren't going to have the easiest time at playing up against the Green Wall, which certainly is understandably so. And, well, one of the players that has been so good on LAN, in, well, at least historically, is Slacked, of course. If I'm on the bench still, I will be attending LAN with snacks and truly having a grand time at laughing at people, effectively those that are underperforming are, well, expected to do well. And Method says some pretty similar things in a second. LAN is back and I am on the bench. Slack not particularly happy with the situation. Of course, the big name really around this is Slasher, right? I mean, a world champion 2016, one of the greatest LAN players of all time. Certainly, you know, he's up near the top 10 probably all-time Call of Duty players. Now he's on the bench and, well, he's out the team, right? And he's gone back to California. We don't really know if he's going to be getting another opportunity in this Los Angeles Thieves squad anytime soon. Perfect timing for LAN to come back. Cannot make it up, says Slasher. Don't really know what his next step potentially is, but I mean, you know, you can imagine a world in which LA Thieves go to LAN, maybe Venom has a little bit more of a difficult time. The other guys, yeah, they're not exactly performing phenomenally. Drazah, of course, hasn't really played on LAN either. Last season he came in and it was still in the online environment to the, well, OpTic Gaming Los Angeles squad. And, you know, let's say LA Thieves go to this LAN whenever it's going to be stage 4 major, stage 3 major, who really knows? No announcement as of yet. And, well, maybe they underperform. You can imagine Slash is going to be on the phone to Jacob and saying, look, you know, hang on a second, lads, you know, it's LAN now. You need to get me back into the team. And I wouldn't be surprised if there are some difficult conversations that come out of something like this. But, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate for Slasher with the timing of the whole situation. And as Method says, I've seen a couple players who are nothing on LAN tweet as if they are LANimals. So many veteran Call of Duty players tweeting very similar things to this. And Method says as well, horrific LAN players acting as if they are excited that LAN is indeed back. And, well, no one's really calling out anyone specifically, but Octane says a very similar thing. Pros, when they realise they've never competed on LAN as a pro, veterans hearing LAN is back, says Crone at CDL Intel. But yeah, there's many players in the league, the likes of Awakening. I mean, I talked about the Los Angeles Thieves guys, many other players as well that have just been brought up to starting lineups that, well, they haven't really played in a LAN environment. Now, as I said, there could be some sort of easing here where we don't necessarily get like 10,000 Green Wall fans in the stadium shouting you down, because that is a very tough situation to have to deal with for a new player. We've seen, you know, players like Shotzzy, for example, have a tough debut on LAN. Certainly last season, it's happened to other players in the past that have gone on to be phenomenal players on LAN and online. But, well, it is a question that comes up once again from some of the veterans. But as Crone at CDL Intel says, Simp and aBeZy online versus Simp and aBeZy on LAN, it's going to be tough to get past these guys. Of course, world champions back in 2019 as well. And as Venom says, this is kind of tongue-in-cheek, a bit of a joke. But wait, why is everyone so excited to go back to LAN? I'm kind of keen to keep playing online in this environment. However, there is another twist in the tail here, and that comes out from Clay's tweet. I have no idea what's going on, he says. And Spinner Spence, who's player relations over at the COD League and formerly of MLG, says, same, I don't really know what's going on here. And I don't know, like, who's baiting. I can't imagine the pro teams are baiting, right? Because this seems to be a coordinated effort by the CDL. It is just somewhat strange the CDL haven't come out and made any announcements. They haven't done a tweet that says, okay, back to LAN or something similar, even like using a hashtag or whatever they kind of created. So, yeah, that is kind of the question mark to me. And Spinner Spence over at the league is saying, okay, I'm not really sure what's going on. Alex Penn as well over at Global Competition Ops at the league also, like, doesn't really know what's going on. Hive Mind working overtime right now, says Clay. So who really knows what's happening? I mean, as I say, like, back to LAN, obviously it was going to be a thing. We're going to be back to LAN at some point or another. But, yeah, this announcement yesterday kind of implied to me, given it's before stage 3 that this announcement is happening, that maybe it's going to be for the stage 3 major. But typically there would be a much longer lead time for fans to understand, okay, that's when the event's going to be, that's where it's going to be. I can get tickets to it and plan my day around that, or, you know, whatever the case may be. Of course, things are a little bit different nowadays, but, yeah, still, it seems kind of strange the timing of the announcement, given that there is no official announcement from the league. It effectively just teasers from all of these CDL teams. So, you know, maybe stage 4 major it's going to happen, maybe stage 3 major it's going to happen, but that's, well, it's not too far around the corner. We don't really know where it's going to be. Clearly some of the league guys aren't really sure exactly what's happening here, so there are still some question marks to be answered. And, well, I do kind of wish the CDL had said something on the matter, but, well, it is good news regardless. And as JCap says, all these LAN teasers but no announcement, thinking emojis. Certainly Spinner Spence in the replies as well, like, it was literally your idea. Do not act like you do not know. And on the other side of things as well, I feel, well, not necessarily bad, but, well, it's kind of just how it is for the challenger scene. As Parasite says, LAN back for pros, but I know damn well I'm still loading up on a cable East Coast host, 120 pig host in a tournament match, right? So, of course, well, LAN back for the pros, we imagine maybe for the majors, but you do have to wonder, like, how much difference is this realistically going to make? Because I can imagine that, okay, let's say all the league, the group play games are still done online. You've still got to be great as an online team team to actually get the seeding for the major. Like, you can be an absolute LANimal, as well, some of these pros call themselves, but if you can't get top 3 in your group, you basically will eliminate all chances you have when you do go to LAN environments of actually winning the tournament, right? If you can't get out into the winners bracket. So there are, well, many questions here. Still many things to be answered. I'll try to do my best to keep you guys updated as we go on and forwards in this, the madness that has been the CDL 2021 so far. Just to finish off with something on a slightly different note here from Turtle, I thought this was kind of interesting to look at. There's 11 matchups so far this season that have not happened in the CDL 2021. Not one team has faced every team so far. Below are what we are waiting to see. So some of these are kind of interesting. Empire versus Gorillas we haven't had as yet. OpTic versus Royal Ravens. Thieves Mutineers Royal Ravens as well. FaZe versus Rokkr is actually a banger right here. And FaZe versus Surge as well. So FaZe Minnesota and FaZe Seattle has not happened so far this season. And FaZe Rokkr especially, that could be something that we get in their group, right? Because you've got Toronto and FaZe, the leaders in the two groups. And you can certainly imagine a world where Toronto put Dallas in FaZe's group, FaZe put OpTic in Toronto's group, and then OpTic then put Rokkr over into the other group as well. That could be something which certainly happens, and we get an absolutely stacked Group B, which I'm sure we're going to have. People have been asking me when the groups exactly go live. I believe it's probably going to be on Friday. I'm pretty sure it was last time it was Friday that the groups got announced in advance of the stage. Subliners versus Paris Legion, Rokkr versus Gorillas, Royal Ravens Legion, Ultra V Surge, Ultra V Gorillas as well have not happened so far this season, so maybe they will happen in stage 3, and maybe they will happen in a LAN environment with any luck. But intrigued to hear your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm to know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you much, as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.
I didn't see the genesis of it. I was very curious. Chris, why did in the third map? Why did you guys start shooting bodies?
Oh, ILLey shot our body second map. It was just fair. It was fair play.
Who did that? ILLey?
ILLey to sell.
This guy. How you gonna shoot Cell?
He messed up,
bro. I'm gonna be honest though. aBeZy went broke. He wasted his whole clip on a dead body when he had bedroom control.
I heard, but I mean,
no, that's not fine. He almost costed the map.
Wait, they haven't lost the control. Have you guys lost the control round?
No, he almost cost it around. He almost cost it around. Wait, Chris, he almost cost it around.
Wait, the first round, right?
Yeah.
And I'll say that so they're
no, it's